Dear students, we'll be teaching you something about progressive group tasks. What is this progressive group task? Progressive group task is a practical exercise given in your GTO by the GTO officer. They basically give you a task which over the numbers keeps improving in terms of difficulty level or keeps increasing in difficulty level. Wherein the first task, it's very simple. The second task will be having more complication, third will be more, fourth will be more. Now, why do they have this progressive group task? As I told you, that whenever you perform, before that you should know the purpose. The purpose of progressive group tasks is to create systematic stress and make you perform as a team member. To check how you not only think, but how you contribute in the group and how you are able to behave in the group. That's exactly what the progressive group task is about. Dear students, 30 years of training and n number of offices. But I am quite perplexed and quite stunned by this thought process that many people of you think that this task is the only way of selection. No, it is not. Your good psychology, your good attitude, your good interview in which your attitude is checked is also the basis. Thereafter, your good participation in group discussion is also the basis. Progressive group task is to check your true self in a natural surroundings. Putting you in a group and letting the group perform in different ways and thus check the way you react to it. So the moment you react differently to it, the way somebody is saying something. Now, for example, suppose I am concentrating on something and somebody is creating deviation for me. There is a possibility that if I am focused, I would take the deviation. Okay, we'll work calmly. There are some people who would not do so. So while they are working and they find somebody trying to give some other idea, they may have poor temper. And thus they will kill the group spirit. So when they create the group spirit, they create lobbied thought process by overreaction, like getting annoyed or something. Then automatically what they do is they do not create consensus in the group. They divide the group. There are some people who believe that they are very intelligent and they should be directly doing everything. No, you have to understand how to create a group. Go back to your home and identify how your father kept every relatives together, though everyone's family has a lot of jugglers in their family also. Very different kind of unique thoughts. Human mind has its own uniqueness. Creating consensus is very difficult, particularly in India more so because the educational level is different for all the people, or the educational exposure is different for all the people. So creating consensus to make the thing work is very difficult. Go back to an Indian marriage and you will see the amount of chaos. It comes not because they are not having a purpose to get the marriage done, but while doing, many of them may feel bad, many of them may get angry, some of them will be working hard. But in a good Indian marriage, everybody will be working like in a synergy, they'll be working like a symbiotic unit. And they'll be working to complete the marriage most happily and successfully. With minimum of troubles, minimum of aggression, minimum of differences. That's exactly what the progressive group task is going to identify on the ground. So it's all about your attitude. If you really, please see, if you have got good attitude, you're going to do very well. There are newcomers who have no exposure, yet they get selected because they have got good attitudes. There are people who have got an idea of the task and then they use their attitude, good attitude, to connect with others and complete the task with smoothness. They are selected. But there are some people who learn these tasks and try to use it as a knowledge to, show around. They try to boss around with the others. They try to not listen to the others. They try to create problems for the others. They try to create hurdle in the functioning. These are all psychological tendencies. Many of you think that, okay, what I'm saying is right. No. When you're working in a group, you have to convince your what is right. Not believe that you have to listen to me as I'm right. So before you rush to these tasks, please identify your attitude, please correct your attitude, please correct your approach, and you're going to do wonders indeed. Because the process, they are not looking at your solutions only, they are looking at the way you come to the solutions. They are looking at the way you behave yourself, the way that you connect with the others. And by the way, by the time you have stayed, you come to progressive group tasks, you spend ample of time with your friends in the barracks, around the clock. So you should have created an understanding with them by now. And if you have not, well, I'm sorry to say, you would be a poor leader. A good leader has certain interpersonal qualities that they connect very fast with the others. And they try not to threaten the others, but to assimilate everyone as a cohesive unit. Let me tell you one very important thing which you have to learn for SSB. SSB is not about competitive performance. It is not about competitive performance. It is about cooperative participation. I repeat this again and again. If you think, if you will belittle someone in your group or you will prove yourself superior to that person, you'll get selected, correct me, you are not having the right attitude. That does not mean that you will waste unnecessary time in getting somebody else to make him the king of the kingdom. No, that also is not required. What is required that you work with proper focus, cooperate with others, appreciate others, and somehow come to consensus. Not crazy for credit, but crazy to complete the work in time. Remember this. This is the basis of your success. I sometimes feel very funny when a lot of people go there, I learn GTO there, this. It's all good, but where is the attitude? If you have the attitude, if you correct your mind of the right attitude, you're welcome. But some people who believe that they want to master this attitude, that also will not sustain, because you'll be there for a longer period of time. So you'll have to either accept that this is right, and you do it. In your school, you do it. But what happens there? You go there as a competitor, so you forget all these learnings of the school, where you learn to cooperate with others, where you learn to work as a team, where you learn to lead sometimes, cooperate sometimes, help sometimes, and complete the work. You forget it. So these lines which I'm trying to tell you is something which is going to matter most. So when you tomorrow become an officer, you will come to know that it is all about that. You know, many times when I used to teach, as early in the 95, 96, many of the students, they should literally follow me as a guru. No, I told them, don't follow me as a guru. You follow me with a logical mind. And the moment you use your logic, you become the guru, because you have to be the guru. If you have to be an officer, you have to be a smart person. You have to be good enough to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. You don't have to copycat me. But when they went ahead with their perspectives, initially they did, but once or twice they could not manage the consistency. They came back to me. I told them the consistency was missing because you did not absorb the concept in your mind. You absorb the concept as a mugged up lesson. No, don't mug up. Understand it. If you have understood, that progressive group tasks, half group tasks, thereafter every task, even GD for that matter, is all about checking your ability to come forward, your ability to cooperate, your ability to collect people together, and your ability to help in good conclusion. That's what we are looking from an officer to be. If you want to be an officer, you should know how to connect minds, you should know how to create consensus, and you should not threaten people with dominance, neither get subdued, but be parallelly participating. Very important lecture for the people who hear, for the people who are listening. It's very, very, very important. Try to absorb what I am trying to tell you. Imagine that you are in the armed forces as an officer and you land up leading the troops and trying to be very dominative to them. But now you are in the borders. You have been annoying the people by extremely demanding and dominating attitude. So what will happen? There is a possibility that the troops may not agree to you under that stress, and when they have the freedom to react. Will you be an effective officer on the border then? Probably not. Probably out of the frustration they may react. There have been few episodes of anti-reaction of soldiers just because you did not understand that officer is like a father, like a brother who not only leads but also connects, cares, bothers, understands, appreciates, and assimilates to a conclusion. Remember that. That's very important. So when we are looking at an officer, we would like an officer, the officer who is able to appreciate others, assimilate others, but also give direction. Again, I have told you, the balance is important. Neither you have to dominate, neither you have to get subdued. If somebody says subdued also, says keep silent, you can be cool at that point of mind, but that does not mean that you will remain forever silent. After some time with good idea, appreciating him, understanding that one of the uncle is very dominative, never mind. But you got to understand, like in family we do, don't we? That we know what this uncle talks like this uncle is like this, I have to manage like this. So learn proper leadership management so that you are able to reach your goal. I'm sorry this sounds long because we already have not begun, but I have told you, but that's the trick. Please listen to it carefully and try to understand every concept, because you can change yourself, and you will only change yourself when you will understand what is the requirement and why. You will understand that if you want this job, you will have to learn how to change yourself, and if you have not corrected yourself, you should correct yourself now. If you will understand that, okay, this behavior of mine is very important. By the way, this behavior is not only important for the armed forces, it is important for every day-to-day functioning, right from every organization, including the smallest structural organization called marriage. So everyone has to be very intelligent to handle that. Is it clear? Let's go ahead with this progressive group task. Understand what are the different things here. The group task is designed to check the individual and aspects of all the four qualities. You know, organizing and planning, you will have to, we'll go here, then we'll do this, then we'll do this. You'll have to work on that. So while you're doing it, okay, you are planning this step, then you are also thinking beyond. There are many times when people find a lot of people working in one place, they think little beyond. So that is helping in organizing and planning. And by the way, it's not about your idea, it's about the group functioning. But if you contribute in it as an active performer, enjoying the purpose, not to impress, but to express your quality and to help is important. Again, I repeat, very important line. While performance, don't be bothered about to impress the other person. Don't look at the GTO now and then. Forget him. The task is begin. So enjoy the task. Do good. You automatically will impress. But the moment you will start checking every now and then whether the GTO is seeing or not seeing, or what is happening, then automatically what you're going to do is you're going to spoil your performance. You're going to spoil your focus and you will be missing out on proper performance. So don't do that. So in organizing and planning quality, we'll also check your social adjustment with the group. Are you able to adapt yourself to the group, or you have issues with the group? There are many times when in group tasks people have had barrack issues. They felt bad, he said so, he said, come on, wash it. Wash it. It's too small to really take it as an issue. And rather, you should never get into the issue at all. Whenever a person objects to you, you should say, okay, that was a viewpoint, never mind, you're fine. Now, do you think that is subjugation? No, it is not. It is understanding at that point of time. So if you don't have issues, your social adjustment is good, your progressive group task, everybody would like to listen to you, would love your attitude, because already in the barracks and other places they've seen that you're a nice guy. You don't mean bad for others. So if you don't mean bad for others, they're happy with you. Then we come down to social effectiveness. Now what do you mean by social effectiveness? Is the second step to social adjustment. So if you have done well with the group, then automatically the next time your words, your directions will be well received. Everybody would like you to come forward and speak. You will be able to take initiative, you will be able to convince others, you will be able to work everything, so you will be good in social effect. And then it comes to dynamic factor, that means completing it. If now you are not able to complete, or you show frustration, I cannot do it, I don't think I'll be able to do it, now that is surrender. Don't do it. There is no reason that you should surrender. Keep trying, keep trying. Keep running your mind here and there, and you will get solutions. So this is something which is a tip for all of you. Please pay attention. Group design are designed to identify the traits on ground level and in natural yet designed order to assist the experts to unravel the true shades of your personality. The different subsections. You know, in the progressive group tasks, you have many tasks which are similar in nature. But everyone has a different purpose. Progressive group task is the initial introductory part. The first task is easy, second task is a little more difficult, third is a little more, and fourth is more difficult. So automatically the degree of difficulty is improving. So, but you are also learning by the performance and ideas of others, as well as applying your own ideas. So whatever I'll teach you here will help you a reasonable idea there. But I do not believe in making you learn all the ideas, because then you will end up not applying your wisdom to deviations to other things. And in the process, your performance will become high, on that high level that it will look artificial. Now what do you mean by artificial? I want to explain it. You know, when you come across, suppose you're going for a marriage, you're getting married to someone, or you selecting a candidate for marriage. Girls are picking boy or boy is picking girl. In that case, when you get somebody speaking two good things, everywhere trying to be very good, what happens? You land up questioning the person. You land up wondering whether the person is true. There is an old saying, too good to be true. That means if you are looking too good, it will be very difficult for the person to accept. And actually it will be, most of the time it will be. Because whenever you are trying to be too good, you are automatically either masking it, or you are too disciplined that people will hardly appreciate you. I'm not saying that you become ill-disciplined, but somewhere you should express your liking and disliking as well. So whenever a person goes to marry, they pick a candidate who's giving excellent answers. It's often for the wise person, it's not a bonanza. For the wise person, it is not taken, ki, wow, I've come across the best person. Rather, it becomes a question mark. So we are not looking at excellent performance, but we are also not saying that you have to destroy your performance. We are saying that you can be natural, step by step, moving on with the performance. So that your participative learning your participative application, your participative improvement is seen by the officer. So in the progressive group task, that is the purpose. In half group tasks, as you have already done 4 of the progressive group tasks, I may not have said it, but I am telling you, progressive group task generally is 4. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. By these 4 number of tasks, with many subunits of working, you automatically get bundle of ideas, and you are exposed to bundle of ideas. So now when they give you half group tasks, that is where in the progressive group task there were 10 people, now in half group task there are 5 people. So when you get 5 people, they expect that you will be able to identify the solutions better, you will be able to work in a cooperative unit better, you will be able to understand each other better, you will be able to work up for the goal better, because now it's a small group. And of course for the GTO, it becomes easy to microscopically evaluate you, to check what kind of person you are. They are able to identify you. Because now in 10, generally there is a possibility that they may not be able to look at one person. But when it is half the number, with keen observation, which the group testing officer already has, he will identify. So that is how the group task is interested to. It's only one. Then you come down to individual command tasks. Everybody is made a commander for a moment. If there is a 10 people in the group, everybody will become a commander once at least. So while they are commander, the 9 people get an opportunity to either be a follower or stay back, because generally only few candidates are called. So out of 10 times, you perform, once you are going to be a commander, but in 9 times, there is a possibility that you will be called to assist in the others. Now you don't have to be there all the 9 times, because it is also not dependent on you. It is also dependent on the candidate whom he is going to call, whom she is going to call. So if you have got good understanding, you will be called by more number of candidates. But if you have got less understanding, you are only stereotyped with only few people, less people will call you. But if you have got a very, very good social adjustment, people appreciate you as a very cool and calm and neutral person, more people will call you. Now huge number is not expected, but at least somebody who is getting more than 1, particularly 3 or 4 times of opportunity to help as a follower, speaks good of group acceptability. Because that speaks that the candidate has been able to create that much trust with 4 or 5 people who have called him to help him. Got the point? So this is also something which is checked in the individual command task. How many people are going to really respond to you? Suppose you are a person who is not being called by anyone, then it will be unfortunate because it will expose that your acceptability in the group is 0, and in those duration of time you are not able to connect with anyone on a one-to-one basis, and thus have poor on social adjustment, poor on social effectiveness, and you may be very, very, the hidden part of your personality may be too selfish to be accepted as a group member. Remember that point. It's a very important tip for all of you. So while you are mixing with the people in the entire SSB, your sense of appreciation for others, the sense of encouragement to others should be there. If you try to be very critical of people, or you look too selfish for your own self, and you're too self-centered in your performance, you will end up giving the waves of repulsion. Others will be repelled by you. But if you will be appreciative, I have told you, what are we looking at? Cooperative participation. So if you believe that your group maximum number, now I'll give you a mantra. If you work that your maximum number of your group members get selected, you try to help others genuinely, in a genuine way, not by a sermon. Don't give them sermon. Nobody likes sermon among friends, but they like assistance among friends. So if you do not give sermon, but you assist everyone, you appreciate everyone, the possibility is that you will create a better understanding in the group and your selection will become more, more confirmed than otherwise. If you are a sole crusader, that is, you are walking all alone, not talking to people, not having a smiling nature, not appreciating others, always looking with people with envy, that slight glance which people have, okay, Pakistan, now this is not, it is done. We all have to get out of that approach. Look what has happened to Pakistan. Because Pakistan, always the leaders talked about hatred, talked about hatred, talked about hatred. Finally, what happened? The hatred consumed them. And today they are in bad shape. Sensibility has to be there. Neither extreme obsession of love should consume you, neither extreme obsession of hatred should consume you. A balance is important. So here, in individual command tasks, they will identify how many people are calling you. And if you go as a leader by your own self to command, you are supposed to care for the people, help them complete whatever your task is in a confident manner, apply your brain. Already you have done progressive task 4, half group task 1. So now you have ample of ideas to apply. And you should never feel scared after this much learning to you do the trial and error and somehow solve. But if you have still a blocked mind and you are not able to do the trial and error, now blocked mind comes from 2 things. 1, some people believe I can never do it. That is one problem. Some people think the others are doing better than me. Then also they block their mind. Don't compare your performance with others. Just concentrate on your performance. Don't think you are a duffer that you can never do it. You can do it. Whatever the task has been created can be solved by just keen observation and participation. And you learn. So by the time you come down to individual command tasks, you will be able to multiply your ideas. Yes, the GTO will stress you by telling you to rush up, by blocking your examples and telling you to think more. There is no reason that you look frustrated or you look stressed that why more question I have already solved. No, the person is exploring the depth of your thinking. That does not mean that all the solution thereafter can be fully, but you should not give up. You should have the calmness, coolness to keep trying. They're looking at your attitude. Your solutions are not going to be used for national construction or global construction. Only to identify you. So remember that. Now we come down to the final group task. Now in the final group task, everything is over. So the group gets back. There are some people who have already evaluated themselves. They become a psychological depressive case. Or there are some people who are arrogant. They feel I am getting selected. Some people feel I am getting rejected. So in the final group task, your enthusiasm goes up or goes down. And what it should be? It should remain at the same level. Rather now with the group exposure, your energy level should be good enough to complete it fast. And with of course the good understanding and cooperation. But there are some people who feel, what is the point? I messed up with my command task, I couldn't do this. Why are you appraising yourself? Why are you killing yourself before you are dead? So don't think so. Till the last moment, if you have positivity, we're going to appreciate in you. And after all, these tasks are only to pick up your attitude, your thought process of positivity, enthusiasm, cheerfulness, not short duration, long and proper. And that's something which we are looking at. Is it clear to all of you? Now we go down. Progressive group task is conducted in sequence after the group planning exercise I have told you. Now the sequence is so designed that by now the candidate would have developed understanding, amiability means friendly with the group members to the required level, and thus a suitable candidate would be able to contribute cooperatively in a rhythm because you have an understanding. Now it's a team and you're able to work as a team. So won't be a problem. That's exactly is the purpose, as I've told you before. The progressive task has 4 parts, I've told you that. Where the first one is easy, followed by the second a little harder, thereafter followed by the third a little more harder, to culminate with the fourth, the most complex. Now what do you mean by complex? In one task, it will be one simple application and you'll go across. In the second, there will be more complication. You'll have to use one more structure, the other structure, and then go across. In the third, you will have to use this structure, that structure, some alternative thought process, certain broad ideas, certain unique ideas to solve it. And last one will be more difficult, right? You're getting the point. The idea is that the multiplicity of thoughts, the ability to apply 3 set of thoughts you get, just 3 set of thoughts, and you get multiple applications. You know, what is the dress which we wear? A shirt, a pant. But this shirt is of many types. Sometimes instead of shirt, we wear a t-shirt. Sometimes instead of t-shirt, we wear a kurta. Sometimes instead of this, we wear a jacket. We sometimes go for a coat. Or sometimes we go for different forms of things. But now, the dress is the same. It's covering your upper portion. Similarly, down below, you're wearing a pant. Sometimes you'll be wearing a pajama. You'll be sometimes wearing a jeans. So now what is it? The thing is the same, but the forms are different. And it may use a different system also. Now there is one beautiful dress which will come in the armed forces. That will be the dangri. It's a combination of a pant and a shirt. And you have to wear it in a unique way. Otherwise you will never wear it. It's very simple. You first put the legs inside the dangri, and thereafter you use the other portion and zip up or put the buttons and you are ready. So this, you must have seen it in what the pilots wear. You're getting the point. Same dress is very common. So now it's an altered form. Same thing is here. They make some alterations and they expect you to utilize 4 or 5 common sense every time by making some alteration here and there. Now somewhere the rope is short, you have to learn how to make it long. Somewhere one structure is there, one structure is there, and you are trying to solve, but you are ignoring those structures. Then you realize that they are also important, they can be used this way. Now this is what the whole game is about. The game is about your calmness. The game is about your alertness. The game is about your cooperation. The game, once you are calm, you will be alert, you will be able to use all the structures, and then you will be having cooperation attitude. So you will not be bothered that, okay, let me snatch that before it is gone. No, you'll think, okay, let's do it as a team. You do this, let's do it this way. And there is no point that you bother that who was the person who was performing them. No, every time if you contribute. Look at your father in your family. Sometimes he tells you to go ahead, but who is the planning person? Father. Look at your brother sometimes telling you that, okay, you can do this. Or you also yourself going and doing something and sometime thereafter telling your brother to do it. Where is the problem? The family is still created. So remember that. Very important for all of you. I am trying to give my best so that you can understand the attitude. The girls often have a lot of conflicts or an attitude which tends to affect. No, I am not blaming the gender. I am talking about the general socio-cultural atmosphere of the fair gender, that many times when they compete with the group, they are not only excellent in terms of communication, they are excellent in terms of thinking, but sometimes in the group, when they try to play this game of looking themselves superior and looking the other in inferior, that group suffers. I want to tell you very, very happily, to be precise, and I know a few officers who are already selected in that would endorse it. Once in a group of 10 girls, 9 of them got recommended. And out of that 2, one of the officer, which I rightly remember very honorably, is Vandana Teji, and the other one was Deepika Singh. They both got selected in the same group. Now, out of the 10, 9 got selected. How did it happen? Because they were able to create a very good sense of camaraderie, very good sense of teamship. Of course, their individual performance was also good. They were writing things sensibly. They were talking things sensibly, not as a big thing. Now imagine if somebody asks me, I'm a teacher, and I go and tell them that, okay, yeah, I went to the Mount Everest. Why should I lie? When I have not done mountaineering, I don't have to be doing everything. So I am a teacher, I taught many things. But did I do mountaineering myself? No. But there are some people who feel this is a psychological competition and I have to prove that I've done everything. Then only I'm going to talk. So big talks spoil your things. Be easy, be fine. Is an outdoor uniquely designed to put to test what? Candidates' analytical ability. I've already told you. Application of common sense on structure with the help of tools. They'll give you helping material. You'll have to create it. Okay, let's go further. What is cognitive ability? Thinking ability and adaptability to absorb the restrictions. Now you have been given thinking ability, but they're saying you cannot do this, but you can do this. You don't have to be frustrated. You have to think within that parameters, concentrate and do it. Now some people, no. Remove this rule, I'm going to do only this. No. When they have created a restriction, there has to be an avenue. Nobody is creating restriction if there is no alternative solution possible. Remember that. अगर आपके पास कोई और solution नहीं है, तो वो आपको ऐसा नहीं करेंगे. They will not disturb. They are only doing it so that they want you to think deeper and better. Cognitive ability to be innovative. You can be innovative, like we call this jugaad. In India, it's called jugaad. In OLQ, it is called effective intelligence. So if you've got an effective intelligence of using, what is intelligent, what is effective, please understand it. Intelligence is that this is a mobile and this has to be used for communication, right? Naturally, it should be ready. But suddenly, the mobile is not functioning. And I have to communicate. I have to call someone. What does effective intelligence tell me? That using my memory, remembering the number, use somebody else's mobile, good effective intelligence. No, there is no mobile available. Then try to check what is wrong with it. Try to reboot it. Many times it starts functioning. Do it. No, it is not possible. Then go out to an public spot, from there take the help and do it. But the purpose should be solved. So simple. What could have been easily possible could not be possible, so we applied extra measures to complete it. We use different methods, we use different ideas to complete it. That is innovations. Innovations means to thinking beyond the normal solution by applying or modifying the idea by using different things differently. Is it clear? Now we go down. Cooperative ability. I have always told you very repeatedly, I am telling you, cooperative ability is what is checked because they want a team. Armed forces want team members. They don't want sole crusaders. Army will never work properly in discipline and cooperation unless you have the right attitude. You will go and pollute the entire pond. They say a bad fish can pollute a complete pond, a complete lake. Am I right? Lake little less, but pond yes, because pond is restricted. So here we can say that. Is it clear? Okay, so cooperation is the point. Cooperative ability in terms of bonding with other members. Are you able to do that? Now you say, I am come here for my selection, so I'm not going to cooperate with the others. Everybody should have to listen to me. Sorry. They are not looking for direct generals. They are going to make you lieutenant, and lieutenant has to cooperate with the soldiers and also with the other officers. So when you have to go through the same journey, your cooperation should be good. You should know how to cooperate with the others. You should learn to appreciate others. Don't have that idiosyncratic attitude, mad attitude that I don't like his nose, I don't like his mustache, I don't like this attitude, or the girls having that I don't like these kind of girls, or this. Come on, wash it off. It's all your illusion. A beautiful group is a beautiful company. Trust me, I, after leaving my short service, have landed up into civil, and trust me, the way of chaos, it is here. I regret my decisions every moment. Why? Because I feel if I would have sustained in that organization, I would have consumed my life very happily with sensible people whom I can at least talk to. They are more logical than the common masses. If you look at the kind of political debates we have, illogical. Why? Are the leaders illogical? No, the masses are. The masses are illogical. That is why the political leaders are drafting the lectures as per the masses. How many people are appreciative of Subramaniam Jai Shankar, the Honorable External Affairs? Only the few educated class. Rest do not understand him. They understand only people who are doing the jugglery around. Somebody is telling the constitution is in danger. Somebody is telling the humans in India are in danger. Somebody is saying something, and it's a complete chaos. But it is not because of the leaders. Please don't belittle the leaders. Don't identify that Rahul Gandhi ji, opposition leader, is not wise. He is wise. Do not have to question the Prime Minister, do not have to question the other people, or do the other people. But most of them, they are addressing so because the masses want so. The masses understand so. They are trying to adapt themselves to the demands of the masses. And the masses, you already are seeing, they create a euphoria of the same. And they create all the chaos of the same. The moment our Indian country will become very well educated, automatically meritorious leaders will come up, and the leaders who are present will also talk of merit. They will not talk all this useless thing which they do. Same thing here. Be cooperative. Be calm and composed to remain alert and undisturbed. I'm sorry I went a little deviant, but the idea was only to educate your attitude. Very important for all of you to educate yourself, to come to this place. It's all about logic and common sense. They're all about confidence to understand and appreciate others. That is it. So they want you to be calm and composed so that you can understand, be alert, and sense of positivity. You should never surrender. I've already told you that. In every task, if they say this is not possible, you don't have to look down. Oh my God, I cannot do anything. No. Right, sir? We'll think something more. That's exactly the way it should be. It should be there in your mind. Naturally performing with unnecessary display. There are some people who try to prove, oh, move on, I'm the boss. Why? Why don't you perform normally and give good ideas? Why do you want to try to be the boss or the expert? The moment you do that, what are you doing? Two things. One, you're creating a social embarrassment for the others. The others will feel that he is trying to belittle me. Number two, you are trying to create yourself as a sole person. So the group will dissociate with you. I've already explained in group discussion that when you give too much data in the group discussion, you get disconnected with the group. But when you talk something logical and common sense, you get connected with the group. Because we are not looking at hi-fi data, we are looking at connecting languages. We want a team creator. We want a leader who is able to create a team. That doesn't mean distributing trophies to vote for me like the political leaders try to do. It is about really winning their appreciation by being good to them, by appreciating them, and by cooperating with them. Honesty in terms of, now here we say absorbed and trying approach of giving 100%. You should give 100%. Now when you give 100%, you don't look at the officer, you look at the task. When the officer is telling something in the task, then you may look at him. But when you are supposed to do the task, every now and then don't look at the officer. It looks you are not interested in your job. You're more interested in impressing him. Don't do that. Now here we come to honesty in terms of listening, keenly listening and adhering to punishment, acceptance of mistake or withdrawal. If they tell you, okay, you've done this wrong, go back. Admit it if you've done wrong. If you've wrongly stepped somewhere where the officer tells you that if you do that mistake, come back, do it. Accept it. Have the guts to accept your mistake and say sorry to others. But that does not mean that you will go into the Kekai Bhavan or start having remorse. You'll go and cry as if you've done a big blunder. You've done a mistake, never mind, jump back and get into action. That's exactly what we're looking at. Boys and girls both together. Right, now we come down. Ability to visualize the structure. If this is there, then how will you do it? Suppose you are sitting in this side and you have to imagine what it will be down there. You can do it. You've already done the reasoning. You've done the non-verbal reasoning. So you have used it. So do that. Ability to tactfully handle team members. Talking nicely to them. Not irritating someone. Don't looking, staring at the person, but politely working. That is the way to cooperate with the team. Self-confidence by verbally expressing appropriate ideas. Saying, why don't we try this? Okay, let's work this up. Don't try to dominate, but at least give your ideas. Speak properly. Don't speak with fear. If you will speak with fear, you won't be showing self-confidence. But if you speak with relevant thing, you will be doing it. And not overconfident by rushing participation or trying to do. Is it clear? Don't rush too fast. Go easy. See, I think this can be done. Now, if somebody takes the credit away, suppose you have said an idea and somebody also said this, don't feel jittery. You feel, yes, I was also on the same. This is a good point. This can be practically. Don't be scared that somebody has said it and it was mine. No, it was mine. No, it was mine. You don't have to do it. It's all about your participating as a team. If he gives the idea or you give the idea or you both together give the idea, wonderful. But the task should be done in a cool, nice manner. Is it clear? The candidate must remember that these exercises include possibility of a number of solutions. It is not only one solution to a number of solutions. One with average and above average can easily identify. Remember, so never lose hope. The candidate must not perform in a hurry or in a sense of competitiveness, but a sense of I'm regularly putting it across because I feel many of you who are coming from coached performance in a short period of 15 days, out of which maybe 7 days you did GTO or something, you tend to come out with a competitive approach. You feel like, okay, I'm not going to tell everybody that I've learned something. No, it is about cooperation. So if you've done some mistake and you've not been able to clear, never mind. All the officers who are running the coachings or training you are also doing you a great favor. They're exposing you, they're giving you tips. But how do you absorb it is very important. We unfortunately were in Kanpur, so we had all the kind of varieties and thus we could not remain choosy or we could not have been instructive. So instead of 15 days, we started a procedure of 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. And this way we were able to evolve personality because the champion was always in you all people. And once you woke up your wisdom, certainly you are much better than me. I could not sustain my stay in the armed forces, but my students are presently senior officers. So am I not proud of it? I am. I am very proud of this thing. So what is very important is you have to understand this. Cooperativeness is the key. The candidate coach extensively tends not only to hurriedly, when you are a coach, you try to let me do it because I've learned this. Now the officer is also seeing, is getting to know that you are not using your natural brain, you are using your learned brain. So they are not coming to know your behavior. They are coming to know not coming to know so much of it. I don't say that there is anything wrong with the coaching, but you have to do it in a healthy way as a team member. If you have learned solution, never mind, you accept it that I learned and I think we should do it like this. I think it will save time. You have any appreciate others' ideas? Not this that now since I have learned, Now nobody is going to speak because I am going to speak alone. And you all guys are going to follow me. This is not what the officer is looking forward to. The officer is looking at evaluating all of you as a team member. Is also looking at you as a team member, not as trying to be the boss just because you have a knowledge of one particular task. And these people, you know what happens with them? That once they find this attitude in them, they take them during the command task and give them the most complicated and keep removing. And then that time the person's confidence falls from the sky to the ground. Because when they are given difficult tasks, very, very difficult, they realize that the officers who had taught them certain basic principles. But innovation was their part of mind. It was not only learned solution, it was to think solutions. So when you are not just going by learned solution, you hurry up. But if you think solutions, you may go easy and proper and step by step complete it. You should be appreciative of the team. You should create a team thing. Unfortunately, this is the trend. So I warn you for the same, because it will be a pleasure to see all of you selected, whoever listening to me, the people sitting here, the boys and girls, all of you. It will be a pleasure to see you selected. After all, it is the country which wants you, and you also want to serve the country. So here we go. The test to record a candidate's sense of teamship is important. Consideration for others, ability to assimilate best of opinion is preferred. I repeatedly said it so that it goes deep down in your mind. The candidate is expected not to use power. There are some people who use power. They'll say, okay, this boy is small, I am very healthy, I'll throw him, he'll reach there, and then he can. No, they specifically tell you not to use power. And after that, if you use power, or you say, I will hold the plank, and you guys can climb, it will not fall. No, the structures there are well designed to support the helping material and create solutions. They are not expecting someone, Hercules or Hulk, Hogan or other kind of people to come and help them. They're not looking for Superman, Spider-Man, Batman. They're looking for you to get selected. So not to use power, but work with procedure. Is a test served in the form of series of tasks, which, as the name of the test read, is progressive. Difficulty level is increasing. As in practice, the whole test is allotted 40 to 60 minutes, depending on the judgment of the officer. They may give you 4 tasks, so it may consume a time of 40 to 60 minutes. They may do it a little early also, they may do it a little late. Depends on the testing officer. If you find that you're working in smooth, you may do it in 30 minutes also. But if you are not able to do that, you may take 40 to 60 minutes. Maybe in one of the tasks, after 3 tasks, the GTO officer may say, okay, done, I've understood what you can do, and may not give you the 4th one. That also may happen. There may be a task which you have not completed. He will say, okay, keep moving. Now leave it. We have understood the idea. Now we'll come to the second one. The idea the GTO is doing is identifying your behavior, identifying the way you approach a task, the way you work, and how you work up with the team. That's exactly it. The whole task is allotted. Is it clear? May not go through all the 4. I have already said that. Candidate must participate accordingly in the process from the very first exercise. It is not this that I'm going to wait, watch, and then I'll do. Okay, in the first one you will be watching, no doubt, but still participate, get helping material, look what is happening, and try to at least learn from that. In a participative way, not from far, I'm sitting like on top of a mountain and watching things. No, you're supposed to participate. The group testing officer instructs that the candidates will all have to go across from the start line to the finish line with the help of some helping material and using load across. That also may be there. So I hope you have absorbed this much very rightly. Okay, now coming to the other sections of the same. The group testing officer mostly defines rule of infinity. Now there are line, starting line and last line. There are some people, They say from starting line to the last line you have to go from here. They tell that these lines are infinity. They are not this, that they are only this much, right? So why they do that? Basically because there are some candidate who will say, why are we doing all this? Why don't we go from sides and reach that? So that is why they call this rule of infinity. The starting line are lines of infinity. One cannot go from left to right, and they have to go using the helping material from the middle only and cross to the other line. Because there are times he feels funny. There are some people who will give all the suggestion that, sir, why we are necessarily wasting time in helping material? Why can't we go? That means they want you to listen, they understand, adopt the rules so that you understand the game. They have done it purposefully to make your mind function, to make your group work on ideas. That is why. Now we come down rule of distance and jump. There are times when you will be making helping material and going from one structure to the other, but they allow you restriction of jumping only for a maximum of 4 feet. So automatically they distance the structures such that you will be able to jump and reach there, and thus you will be able to complete it. So this way they try to give you certain freedom as well as certain restrictions. So remember that now there is not one person who can jump 6 feet. This way the entire structure which is created of some few feet will be covered in 2 jumps or 3 jumps. This is not what they are looking for. They are not looking for kangaroos in the armed forces, neither monkeys. They are looking for human beings who are able to apply their mind. Is it clear? Both, all of you? Yep. So by extending leg span, however distance beyond that is prohibited as a rule break. Rule of outer bound area. They'll have rule of outer bound area. They'll have areas, especially the ground away from the starting line, painted with restricted colors. They'll say this area you cannot go. You have to go within the straight path. Number 1. Number 2, they will say that you cannot touch the red area. You cannot touch this area. You cannot, and they will paint that structure. So they are doing it deliberately so that you do not use those areas, you use other areas. Why? They want you to apply your brain how to use those areas. They want you to apply your brain how to solve, how to concentrate, how to focus, and how to work up ideas. Ideas are very ambiguous things in the mind. It cannot be read until and unless it is spoken. And once you are able to think, then we come to know your entire thinking pattern. So if you are not able to speak anything relevant and do something relevant, you'll never come to know what you really want to tell. Now we come down to rule of colors also they do. And that also, as I have told you, different colors will be having different meaning, connotations. White you can totally use, blue you can stand but you cannot keep your things, red you may totally. Now please don't go by my learnings of the colors. You'll have to be there. They will give you their own system of coloring thing. Why? I had once a situation when a candidate went there and they had changed few different colors there. So automatically person is going by a learned format, and there they are telling a different format. This speaks wrong. So if they will give you clear instructions, so when they will tell you clearly that this red is not to be used, blue is to be used, white is to be used, listen to them carefully. For example, black color. Black color is considered as extension color. What do you mean by extension color? Suppose there is something red and the lower portion till the ground is black. That means the entire thing is red. If there is white and the lower portion is black, that means the entire thing is white. They do tell that, but listen to what he is saying. Because after all, it's not about my instruction, it's about the instruction given by the group testing officer, which is important. So you will have to have sharp ears to the instructions. And if you will do that, you will do well. Now we come down. Red color cannot be touched or utilized at all. Example B, blue yellow color can be touched or used, but the load or helping material cannot be placed on top of it. White color area can be touched or used with or without load or helping material. Got it? So this is something Black color area can be touched or used as per associating with the other color, as I have already told you. The same decoding is used for the mite protection. They say that way we've done it for termite protection because it is in ground. Then they put charcoal and other kind of medication, so they put it black. So you have to understand that. The group testing is fully empowered to give different interpretation. I have told you that. Of color, therefore the candidate must carefully listen to his instructions and do as per that. Rule of rigidity. The rule defines that no two rigid helping materials can be tied to each other. Now, there are some people who will take a plank which is of 6 feet and they take a bully which is of 7 feet and tie it together and say entire distance is covered. No, they tell you helping material cannot be tied to each other. That means one place you can use this, the other place you can use it, but they cannot be tied to each other. They can be tied to the structures, the one which are given there, but cannot be tied to each other. However, there is no restriction of tying to the structure on ground. Understood? He even implies that no two can be tied to cover long distance. Now in long distance you've done it wrong. Rule of group and load. They say is that one works as a team. Does it specify? Now you have crossed starting line to the line, ending line, and you left all the group members behind. No, you have to take all the group people together also. Plus they will give you a load. They may give you a TV. They may say this is an ammunition box. You have to take across. Though it will not be, but it will be a box. It will be a symbolic thing. Right? So you will be told to take across. That means you have to treat it properly. I remember once a candidate took a TV and he kept it somewhere down below and he was climbing that to reach the other place. Imagine how absent-minded the candidate was, that he forgot that it is a TV. If it is a TV, will you stand on top of it? No. So there one has to see, are you present here or absent-minded? Right? Like for example, in the class, some of you are present, some of you are absent-minded. So if you are not listening to me, what is it? It's going waste. I am also coming to know one thing more, that you're not sincere about your thing. So that is why I'm recording this for you, so that you can repeat and learn. See, I'm not telling you that it is very important to follow every instruction of mine, but it is very important to identify what is the need of the world. Remember, everyone is not living for you, they are living for themselves. But when you live with them as a team, they start living for you also. But for that, the first thing which you have to do is you have to live for them also. That means, I'll explain you this, that if I want my parents to care for me, I should care for them as well. Automatically, our bond will improve. Similarly, I want to care for my brother, I should care for him also. Automatically, the bond will improve, and tomorrow, my brother will also bother about me. Similarly, if you are interested to learn from me, you have to listen to me. And I have to listen to your questions, if any, so that automatically the process is complete of education. So every relationship has to remember, one has to remember before starting every relationship, it is not about him or her, it is about the other person. Once you appreciate and connect with the other person, then automatically then you have a bridge and then you have a complete system across all the things. That is what I mean. So while you are paying attention to the class or you're not paying attention to the class, you have to remember that the education cannot be complete unless you pay. Similarly, in the group, while you're performing progressive group tasks, if you will not appreciate the others, then the others will also object to you. If you will be appreciative of others, you will be taking others' ideas also, giving them, telling, okay, you move forward and this. You know what are you doing? You creating a sense of group. Now don't do it artificially and don't do it continuously. That means sometimes you do, sometimes you say your point. This way you will create a wonderful understanding with the group, and also, of course, in your day-to-day relationships also. So remember that if you're not being corrected, I'm sorry, I'm sounding like a big grandpa, but the process is to only educate your mind. I would never like that if what I learned over the years, you again take so many years to learn. I would love to see that you learn early so that you enjoy a better life, all of you. So role of group and united movement is that one works as a team, that the entire group must move in unison in the entire course along with helping material and load. The individualistic lacking sense of teamship often overlooks this rule. He just bothers with goes. And that is not identified. The officer is seeing that he is solving and going forward. What about other? The progressive group task is not about one person solving the thing. It is about the group solving and going across. That means you are going to participate as a group member to solve, to let some people go. Then you also go there. But in the end of the thing, everybody should have gone across. Not this, that, okay, 5 are still there and you've got all the helping material and 2 people or 3 people or 4 people have come across and the rest have been forgotten. No, not that. Rule of one-time movable drum. This is also there. They sometimes give you a OTMD. They call it one-time movable drum. They tell you that you can use it, pick it from there and place it somewhere where you need to shorten the gap. Suppose they give you an OTMD lying in the left side. They'll say this is a one-time movable drum. In case you feel that you are not able to solve, you can use it. So if you feel that while a solution is getting affected, that distance is too much, and you can use this by placing it there as a structure, do it, because they have given you. Right, so you'll have to use it. If you are having a resource and you deliberately are fighting without using the resource, how foolish. I have given you pen to write, but you are looking around for pen, where can I get it? I have given you, use it. There are some people who may not, but for that you will have to have a complete vision. You require it or you don't require it. Now we come down, rule of overstepping out of bound area. If you overstep, then the candidate is, the GTO says you must accept the mistake that you have done and thereafter begin from starting. Now why is he said this rule? This rule is only to identify your honesty, your courage to accept your mistake publicly. Of course it's a silly mistake, but having the guts to accept and thereafter correct is very, 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 very strong personality. So if you do a mistake and you accept it, it's going to go fine. So if you have stepped up, say that. Rule of throwing. Candidate is not permitted to throw luggage, material, or light-weighted person across the aisle. Throw and you catch it. No. Even if they are given a load, don't throw it. Rule of time. The candidate will be given an allotted time to perform and you are supposed to do it. They sometimes ask you how much time. Don't be in a rush to prove, sir, within 1 minute. Just say, sir, we'll do it faster. If somebody else gives the idea that we'll take 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, you can go by. But generally, don't try to be the person to propose time, because if you're not aware how much it will take. But after first task, you'll get an idea how much time it will take. So if they ask you how much time, you can give a relevant idea. Similarly, they will ask you in half group task, how much time you will take. So don't try to be, talking big. Sir, 5 seconds. Don't do that. Don't try to behave like an over smart personality. Be relevant. If you require 30 seconds, you take 35 seconds. Or if you require 3 minutes, you take 4 minutes. Do it in less time. But do not say, I'll do it in 2 minutes and thereafter you are finding that you are doing it for 15 minutes. And let this decision come via group, not trying to be the hero in the front and coming up, sir, I'll do this. Now he will recognize you, that you are an over smart character. These over smart people generally are not practical. They are not sensible. And they not only misguide themselves, but they misguide others also. So therefore, a GTO will identify by this trick what kind of person you are. So try to hold your horses, talk what is required. So maybe given the choice and does perform accordingly. Since what is not permitted, sometimes the officer, you may not have completed, he will say, come on, hurry up, last 1 minute, last 2 minutes. Try to do it. Don't panic at that point of time when he says last 2 minutes. But hurry up. He may again extend 1 minute more time. Or he may tell you to stop, but doesn't mean that you have not been selected or you are being rejected. He will only try to make you do things in time. Is it clear? There are many times when the officer had said, okay, stop, let's go to the other task. Yet they selected the candidates. So it is no condition that they're doing this. They're just playing their own judgment. Instruction by the officer. We will organize all the group members in a line. They'll make them stand. The group testing officer instructs all about the rules. I've already told you about the rules. The group testing officer indicates the starting line and the finish line. This is the starting, that is the finish line. Then the group testing officer sends them to use helping materials and structures to go across. The group testing officer will clearly state that the instruction and rules will be the same for all the following tasks. For all, 1, 2, 3, 4, not. It doesn't mean that after one you will wait, sir, now next instructions. That is applicable. Listen to him very carefully. Group testing officer always gives well-structured instructions covering all elements and confirm the same by rechecking and clarifying doubts. Many a time, when I went for my SSB, I remember that 20 SSB, my GTO officer was Major A.K. Pandey, if I rightly remember, a very excellent speaker, very excellent communicator, and he gave us a very good instructions while the progressive group task was to begin. And he said, okay, I'm giving you this. Any questions? Question me now. But later on, I will not give you any answers. I'll only give you a cute smile. He said that. I remember it very clearly. And we all asked few things. He clarified. But in between, we had some confusion with the group that what should we do, what we should not. Yet he did not respond to us. He just looked at us and looked at our performance. Now I want to teach you something more importantly in between the class, only for the attentive ones. Remember, armed forces also identifying not only intelligence in you, the qualities in you, but also trainability in you. What do you mean by trainable? There are some people whom I have met in numbers. Many of them, number one, they don't accept their mistake. Number two, they think they are always right. Number four, they think for them it is positivity and for me it is negativity. That means that if I say something to correct them, it is my negativity that I am talking. But if they are telling me to correct, it is positivity. So now these are hypocritical candidates which you come across in your day-to-day life. Now what exactly is this? That these people are untrainable. And believe me, these disorders, I practically saw that these over-smart, arrogant, extremely, self-loving to the extreme level that they do not accept mistakes, their entire set of people are at a bad condition because they've never identified their mistake, never corrected their mistake, never evolved themselves. Now let me tell you something more also. One, for all of you, remember there is nothing called a mistake. There is nothing as such a mistake. Mistake is actually what is impractical to do at that point of time, what is lacking value for a long period of time, what is inappropriate for that occasion, what is inappropriate for that kind of person, what is inappropriate for that kind of situation, what is inappropriate in terms of credential of that person. Everything that is mistake. For example, if someone stops a student coming into the class, it's okay. It's not a mistake. It's the mistake of the student. But suppose a president, honorable president, comes over for some reason suddenly and wants to walk into the class, then stopping would be, you may say value-based, very right, but seeing the authority, allowing a or knocking to remind me that she has arrived, or the Honorable President, Honorable has arrived, is perfectly right. So what was wrong in one way is right in the other way. There is no rigidity to be followed, but a common sense to be followed. So if you have common sense, like for example, if you kick somebody's backside for his big mistake, it may not be applicable to the innocent person, because then you will earn an enemy for a lifetime. So whenever you identify what is right and what is wrong, I want to tell you it's based on a simple rule of flexible approach and rightful judgment at that point of time. So here I want to tell you that listening to the instructions is very important, and if you don't ask, but do accept your mistake and do be flexible and learn from mutually and turn to say it. Also gives well structured, covering all elements and confirm the same by rechecking and clarifying doubts. The group testing also points to the helping material, wooden plank, block, pole, ropes which are to be used, and signal the group to begin. The group testing officer leaves the group on its own to do its task. Naturally, they will not tell, okay, you do this, you do. That is for you to come voluntarily and participate. The group testing officer takes you to the next obstacle. Once you finish that you will learn, reach the ending line, you will say, okay, now let's move to the second one. And thereafter to the third, and thereafter to the fourth. The group testing officer keeps observing, asks explanation time to time, maybe in between. He'll stop, okay, what are you planning? How you plan to do that? And maybe after that, after he's got an idea, he may say, okay, done. Now you come to the second stage. Without making you do it. May do it. It's totally in the hand of the group testing officer. And even tell them to move on to the next after you got an idea. Got it? So this is something which will happen very naturally with you. Guiding directive must listen to the instructions. I've told you, very important. You know, when he told us instructions, and he asked us in the last, after the final group task, what instruction did I give? I remembered, I told, our group also appreciatedly said yes, it was the same. He was very happy with the group because we listened to every word of his. Rather, we recorded it on a memory. Not that we have to learn the instructions, but our attentiveness was checked. Our focus was checked. Our clarity of taking instruction is checked. In the armed forces, everybody gives you an instruction. You have to be very focused at that point of time. Not this that I'm dreaming there and then, what did you say, sir? Can you please come again? Now that is something which is not acceptable for an emergency functioning organization like the armed forces. When they give you instruction, you have to be fully attentive and be able to grasp every point of it in the very first go. And that is why rapid fire questions are created in interview. They want to check your grasping power and focus. What is rapid fire? They will give you 10 to 15 questions in one go. Tell me something about this, tell me something about this, tell me this. Now you'll say, sir, please come one by one. They don't agree with that. Why they do that? They want to check your grasping power. Same here. They give you instructions, check your grasping power. The candidate must act calmly and composedly. Look cheerful also. Not like, oh my God, I'm tired already. Don't do that. Must keep the rules in the back of the mind and never break them. Candidate must observe carefully and find solutions here and not hesitate to do trial and error. If you've done, sorry to the group, and then have to do it again, correct it. The candidate must analyze and with composure and as a team member come to a common conclusion. Now somebody is saying that no, this is wrong, that is wrong. You don't have to fight. Okay, let's try that. If the other person is saying, if you are cooperative, you'll say, okay, let's try that. Okay, this is solved, no problems. If you feel, okay, this is not solved, let's try this. This way also you can work. The candidate must not break any rule and should be careful and not being clumsy. Matlab, don't break rules, and not being clumsy means making the plank fall down, making the pole fall down, not able to do this. Yes or no? Or breaking the rules, putting your feet into the ground, putting your feet on the area where you are not supposed to touch. The candidate should remember that there are 3 different avenues to solve. Always 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, you have middle, left, right. There are sometimes also 2 avenues, but you have to identify how many it is. There may be one going from here and then diverting, the one going from here and then diverting, one going from here in the middle diverting. So you'll have to use the brain. So don't have to be fixed that, okay, if I have to go in a straight path. No, deviations may be there as per structures. Candidate must not dominate but also not subdue others. दूसरों को दबाओ मत, खुद दबो मत. Exactly, that means enjoy the participation. Do not become down in your confidence. Never compare yourself. Keep yourself healthy. Participate as a team. Right, the candidate must be source of encouragement. If somebody, come on, we'll do it, come on, let's do it. That kind of approach you should have. And the candidate is unable to decode structures and give ideas. Till the time the candidate, even if you are not getting idea, never mind, what is your idea? Okay, let's try. No, not possible. Okay, let's try this sage. It's okay. Don't try to shout at people that this is a wrong idea. They'll say, okay, no problem. Let's try it fast. Okay, there's a better way to say rather than saying that this is wrong. Okay, it is not possible. Never mind. Let's do the other thing. Now, what have you done? You've shown an attitude of team building, not belittling others. You scold a child, and trust me, for years together he will not come to you. Because an innocent child develops one impression and remains it to it for a long time. So don't do that mistake. Candidate often gets blocked in mind thinking of tasks. I've told you blocked thought is very bad. You think I won't be able to do it. Very bad. It is new. I won't be able to do it. Next, you feel the others are doing it better. Very bad. Others are doing it. So what? I am also doing it. Clear? Okay. Candidate must never underestimate oneself or get conscious that the officer is watching what will happen. Forget him. Enjoy your task. You do mistake, no issues. Say sorry, and enjoy your participation. Focus on your group and your working, not on the officer. Told you again and again. The candidate must strictly adhere to we approach, not me approach. Whenever you're doing the group task, the moment you should have a we approach, group approach, not me. I have said it. I said, I think for all of us. Got it? Of course, your communication ability, if you do it and you learn the right attitudes, or you already have the attitudes, brush them up, get them into the forefront and get selected. The candidate must be caring to other group members by reminding them caution towards rules, silly injuries possible, and move along. Now, for example, you have a father. Whenever he tells you to go out, he tells you drive carefully, do this. Yes or no? Similarly, in group tasks, when somebody is putting a plank and he hurts, you seeing that possibly the hand will get trapped down below, please care for the person. You're not going to be a sadistic person that let him get injured. Now, maza aaya? Tend to enjoy it. Rather than warn the person, be careful, don't hurt yourself. Be careful, we can balance this thing now. Don't sit there as a joker to see others fail. It is your team member who is failing, and it is the team it is failing, and you are also failing. So if you don't correct others, if you don't participate with a sense of interest, you're doing a big mistake. The candidate must work with dedication and focus. It will not only divert attention but make one unnecessarily conscious. When you are focused, you will not be bothered whether the officer is looking at you, what the other people are looking at you. Because if you are focused to work, believe me, you go down to the foreign countries, you visit them, you will find them why they are doing very well in their life is because they focus on their own work. They are not interested in what the other person is saying. In our country, many places focused work is happening. That is why we are progressing. And many places people are not bothered about their work. They are bothered about you and your trouble. And they want to trouble you. So get out of it. Okay, is it clear? It will help you. Once you are focused, you won't be conscious. I always, when I go out, like last time when I was out, I was more interested and enjoying myself. I had made many friends, talked to many people, learned a lot of things. But I was more focused on what I'm talking and this thing. I'm not bothered who's looking at me or not looking. So that helped me to not only earn few friends, but also come back with a rich experience. Candidate must freely share ideas, thus participate in a common idea building. Let's come to a common idea. That is the way you should work. Candidate must not pose unnecessary smartness by being dictatorial. Hey, listen, what I'm going to say, you're going to listen. No, be polite, be relevant. Politeness doesn't mean that you become meek or you become too soft-spoken that you are not heard. Be audible, but don't shout. Right? So, say that. And don't try to become the center person. Okay, everybody is going to report to me. Don't do that. You, in spite of all the good efforts, you will get rejected for this behavior of yours. Try to be appreciative. Play like a captain. Why is Mahendra Singh Dhoni considered as a good captain? Because he did not go for commanding. He won the appreciation of others. He actively participated in the game. He enjoyed the game. He enjoyed his work. He enjoyed the focus. That's it. The candidate must adopt cooperative and not competitive approach. I'm repeating it again. Learn to cooperate with others, not that I have to prove myself as the best. Your group does well, you are getting selected. Your group does extremely bad, you have a fish market situation, you all have big bloated egos, every one of you thinking, I'm the best, I've come from Ranthambore, I'm the best, I'm coming from Kerala, the Chola kingdom, I'm coming from Chera kingdom, and one from Chola kingdom, the other one coming from the Palas in the Bengal, or the other place. Please cut that out. We are not wanting egoistic people. We want one of you as a team member. Is it clear? Because camaraderie is important. The program is designed to decode your team spirit, not self-confidence. So be cooperative and not competitive. I am repeating again and again. Now, important observation is not a fun exercise, so necessary focus. It's not fun. Yes, you should enjoy it, but not as a fun. Do it with full sincerity and concentrated participation. Don't be stressed, enjoy working it. Just require the candidate to concentrate, have self-belief. Have a good self-belief, be logical, give respect, and also be concerned for others. I'm repeating this. I'm endorsing it. I'm consolidating this. All the points in your mind. And you're an officer. Think it over and over again and you will realize, why am I not having this approach? There are candidates who realize this. And when they went with the group task, they followed this approach of creating a team, to be a leader by participating, by contribution, but not the only leader in the group, but as a team. And they got selected. So remember that. The candidate must both be friendly and polite, appreciate good points for the others, and accept and use. Use direction also. If somebody is given an idea, no, I'm not going to use, don't do that. Use it. Candidate must participate with a V approach, motivating all and appreciating. Reasonably, not dramatically. Don't try to become a dramatic person. Please read all instructions twice to thrice and summarize that all the instructions are basically logical, shaded in cooperative leadership and active participation as a team with a we feeling. Right? That's important. Practical application, we'll be talking about it. You'll learn a little and you'll also learn the other. While solving, need to remember the 3 basic rules. Let's talk about that. One is creating a bridge to travel from one point to the other. Placing a plank between 2 structures with no support in between. Suppose I have to reach from this place to this place. You've seen Howrah Bridge, one side Calcutta, one side Howrah, and a plank in between. Though it is supported by other iron support, but actually it is a plank. Same thing, if you are having a plank and you are finding 2 stable structures, put a bridge create a bridge by placing it. That's it. Using the plank as a hanging bridge, like in swimming platform, when you have a swimming board, diving board, any of you have done swimming? Okay. So while you see the swimming diving board, you have the plank firmly fixed one side, hanging in the other side. But from there, the person can jump. Similarly, in your bridge also, you can jump from there, 4 feet allowed. You can reach the other task. From there, you can take the plank and again make a structure. This way you can go ahead. You making innovative use of helping material to create bridge by tying one rope here, trying one rope here, and then going. We'll see the structures. You will learn something from. Now look at this. There are two poles. We have put a plank in between. We have done it. Bridge is created. We can climb and reach the other place. Now here, look at this. There is an edge cut here. There is one thing here. We put the plank inside this and put the balance. So we have been able to create a bridge and go across. Now then we come down to the another structure. Two things here. We have a shortage of distance, but we have a rope. So what we have done, we have tied a rope here. So this way we have hanged it a little. We are able to at least reach. Now you're not going to make a dancing show there. So you can somehow reach the other place. Then you can reach back also. Now there are two structures. Both are there of equal height. We have kept this. We have gone simple bridge creations. Using rope effectively. Is it clear, not clear? In this, using rope as a loop for throwing from a distance and tightening. Suppose I am standing at a distance and I want to tie a rope. What is the way I can do it? I can do one thing. I can create a loop and thereafter throw the loop and thereafter pull the thing and then tie it here and tie it there and use the rope. So using rope in 8 manner. 8 manner means I'll take it from one place, put it this way, and then from the other place and this way, tighten it more. We'll learn this. Using rope as a bundle also. Sometimes we can put the rope, make it a bundle, and use it as a lever. Lever means something to make a thing higher. Like we use in simple machines, we try to put it up, we change the force direction. Same thing, we can use that. We will show you, we will teach you this lever technique also, because that is the third technique. Using rope as a tool to create a swing in a football post. Like a swing you have created and now you can travel from one place to the other. What is swing? The one which we call jhula. We have tied something down below a small pole or a plank and thus using it as a jhula. Using rope for creating a bridge for monkey crawling. When we have tied two places, we can do monkey crawling, hang and use the rope and go across. Using rope as a support in between where there is none. For example, I have to go from here to there, but I do not have any structure there to support me to keep my plank. And I find one pole there, one pole here. So I have taken the rope and tied it. Now the rope is throughout, so I can use it and we reach so and so place. Later, once I have reached that place, then I can untie the rope, use it differently. Getting the point? That's it. You will be seeing n number of structures, you will get good ideas. Look at this. This one, what have we done with the rope? We have put the thing and tied the rope in a H structure. So it is tight also and we are able to use it as a bridge. Then here we are having a rope, small rope. And what I have done, put the plank. I have to go this side, but I put more this side. So when after that I turn right on top. So what will happen? Once I turn it, it will become very firm and it will take me to the other side. So what have I done by this is just showing you an example. You will learn more structures. I will show you a lot of structures and you will understand from that I can do it. And why you panic there? Because you are not aware, okay, this can be solved, how it can be solved. I am telling you the solutions. And go and apply. And you are not going to be the unique one. There are so many. In the class also, there are many who were there in the last batch, but unfortunately did their performance well, neither communicated well. But they know many of their friends got selected. Why? Basically because their mind was open now to bundle of ideas. Now this is a cross structure. We have tied the rope here and put the plank inside, so we have been able to create a bridge. Suppose this structure would have been this side, we could have put the plank on top of it and tied a bridge. So you will see that in times ahead you will see other thing. Now this is a C kind of thing, but there are things here. We have tied a rope here and then put the plank like this. So when a person will put his leg here, this thing will not let it go up and we will be having a stable bridge type of structure. So simple. You're not able to see. Okay, you'll be able to see once you go back into the recording, you'll see that this is there. Right, now we come down to the other. Lever technique. What is this lever technique? Let's talk about that. Of course, n number of structures are well devised, and in the workbooks which you are having, you'll be having it there. So this is a technique which helps in elevating use of helping material. Suppose you are not supposed to touch this place, so you'll have to put something here so that it doesn't touch. Same thing, without touching restricted zones. Lever method using other helping material, nearby other helping material to elevate so that restricted area is not touched. I'll show you that. Suppose there is a line and you cannot touch, but before that you put a structure on so that the helping material gets height and you are able to cross without touching. So lever technique using modified structures. Lever technique using rope or other materials to manage the gap. You can do that. Now look at this. Here in this you have one person put a pole and he has put his legs there, and this is not touching this red portion, not touching this blue and coming to the white. So this is a lever technique. What have they done? If they would have kept it normally, it would have touched red and blue. But by putting a pole here, they've given elevation, they've given height. Now here you can see it in the sideways also it is created. Here again red, black, white, as I have told you. These are the structures, it should have been in the front. This is the solution. Now similarly you see in white and red, we have to go in front, but we cannot keep anything simple because red will automatically break the rule. So what has he done? He has put a pole in the white structure and put the plank. Now without touching the red, it is going across. Are you understanding? Suppose from white to white I have to go, but in between it is red. If I'll keep it, then it will touch red. This will be a problem. So what has he done? He's kept in white, but in the lower portion of the plank, he has tied a rope. So automatically the rope has given it height. So without touching the red, he will be able to reach the white portion. These are all methods of lever technique, which is the third rule. And when you will do other kind of structures, you will get a lot of ideas for the same. Got the point? So now you got some basic ideas of the progressive group task. It's not about only these structures solving, it is about your attitude. It's the way you use these rules and you solve. So God bless you. Thank you very much. Hope you have learned from this. It's been a learning exercise for you. And thank you very much. Jai Hind.